Hi everyone, this is Mamoon. This is a new session in vocabulary for book 4, Unit 5. So we'll go through many vocab and some expressions that would help us understand Unit 5 in this book. So let's start here with the first one, a decibel. So a decibel is a noun, and we know that it is a noun, as I can see here, a. So, and we use a, not an, because it doesn't start with a vowel sound. So we say a, not an. As we can see a here, so it could be a plural form for the word by adding s to the word. So a decibel, so we can add s to make it plural. The meaning of this word, and you can see it from the picture here. So if you look on the bottom, we have falling leaves. So this is like a leaf of any tree. So if they fall, how high the sound of this leaf falling on floor or on ground. So it will be really low sound. So as we go up, you can see like the inside car. So the sound is louder. Then look at the one here on the top, and we can look at the numbers from 10 to 150. So the jet plane, if you hear it, if you go to when you travel in the airport, you can hear this sound as very loud. So this is how we, I would say, measure the loudness of the sound in any item we can see or we can use. So as a unit, we call it a decibel. So this means, for example, for a car, inside a car, so we can measure the sound, the loudness of the sound as 90 decibels and so on. So 150 decibels. So this is what we call it, a unit of measuring. So how to measure it? By here. It is like when you drive a car, so you can say the speed was, for example, 18 miles an hour or per hour. So you are measuring the speed by mile, okay? So, and here I measure the loudness of a sound by a unit, we call it a decibel, okay? I can give a quick example on this word before I move on to the next one. For example, I can say his voice went up several decibels. So this means his voice became very louder. So, for example, he spoke in with this level of 50, but because he started shouting, maybe, so his voice went up to 90 decibels. So this is what we mean by it. Now, the next one is really easy word, a factor. So what do we mean by factor? First of all, it is a noun, and we can see a. So we know that it is a noun when we see a here. Of course, we use a, not an, because it doesn't start with a vowel sound here. But look at here, we talk about the growth. So we start from design, engineer, building or build, then we get to the customer satisfaction. So what could affect, for example, any one of those is a factor. What I mean by factor is that something that could affect something else. Like, for example, if we have a very good engineer, this will be good for our company. So this is a good factor for our company, for our work or growth of our company. Another issue, like Customer satisfaction. So when the customer, when a customer wants us to, for example, design and build a building for him or her, so this is a factor that makes us work hard, plan, arrange for different issues and plan it. Then we start building. We could spend a long time or a lot of money to meet the customer satisfaction. Design is a factor for the success of, for example, the building. So every item could be a factor for the success of another or something else. For example, your hard work is a factor for your success. What else? Good teachers. To have good teachers is a factor for the good reputation of the university or the school, and so on. So a factor, and of course, when we make it plural, we need add s. So we say factors, right? What is this boy doing? What is he doing here? He is telling this old man a joke. So a joke is a noun. Again, we start with a, so we can make it plural like jokes. Of course, we can't say an jokes because it doesn't start with a vowel sound. I mean by vowels are like a, I, o, u, and so on. So a joke, it is a noun. It is something funny we tell, and this thing might make or can make people laugh or at least smile. So this boy is telling a joke to his maybe dad or granddad, right? Sometimes the word joke can be a verb, right? So if it is a verb, so we don't need a, and it is a regular verb, so I say joked, right? As a verb, it's regular, so I can give you example. For example, she could laugh and joke with her friends. So this means she is telling jokes, right? The next one now, we have a verse. Now, this is a very, what we call it, in Arabic, we have it, which means shar, telling shar. Now, look at this poem, and poem we call it in Arabic like qasida. So, winter animals, winter is cold, there is snow in the sky. The squirrel gathers nuts, and the wild geese fly. So look at sky, fly. Then you say here nuts and fox. Then has his fur to keep warm. The birds in her cave sleeping all through the storm. Warm, storm. So verse or a verse, we say it is writing in a short, you can see them short lines with regular rhythm. So this means the sound that comes by the end of each line or specific lines. When I say, for example, sky, fly, warm, storm, then of course it should, I mean, when you hear it or when you listen to verse, you will notice what we mean by rhythm. So you can follow this rhythm as a music in your ear, like sky, fly, nuts, fox, warm, storm, and so on. So the words of a poem. So a poem, as I explained, as it is in Arabic, we call it qasida, right? So verse. Sometimes you can say verses, which is plural, right? I can see here, what can we see here? Somebody could be really in danger because of maybe high voltage electricity. So they say danger. So don't approach, don't come close to this place, don't touch it, or try to open maybe the whatever. So this is danger, this is high voltage. So this sign, we call it a warning. So a warning is a noun. When we make it plural, of course, we add S. The meaning of warning is that something that tells you that something bad or dangerous is going to happen, so that you can be ready, or at least you need, or it's preferably actually to avoid it, to escape it, to stay away from it. So this is a warning. You can see it when you walk out on roads, if you see any electricity plants. So you can see a big sign, they tell a warning. This means don't come close, don't touch, don't be, don't try to do it. This is dangerous. Of course, sometimes you see new buildings are still in process, like in construction place. So, or location. So you can see big signs to stay away from it, not to approach the place, because this is a warning that it is dangerous to come close to this place. This word, I mean, many students can hear this every day at university. We call it acoustic. So acoustics, of course, it's a noun word. If you are at university, sometimes if you are in a hotel, maybe in a hospital, so this is the quality of sound in a room or a building. So sometimes you walk in a 5-star hotel, 4-star hotel, and you can hear a nice, smooth, I would say, very low music. So you can enjoy it actually, maybe little songs. If you hear it very loud, so you might be not happy with it. Sometimes, so this is what we call it acoustics. This is the quality of sound. So if I give you example about it, like, of course, it could be a kind of study we do at university. So I can say Ahmed is a lecturer in acoustics, or lectures in acoustics. This means he is teaching this kind of, or this field of knowledge. So acoustics is a noun. It is already plural. I can see the S here. It is the quality of sound in a building, in a room, at university, in a hotel, as I mentioned, or hospital. In this picture, I can see affect and effect. Now, affect, it starts with a, and this is a verb, while effect is a noun. Now, affect here, of course, it is a regular verb, so we add ed to make it past. So affected, right? It means like you do something that could make changes happen for someone, or in someone, or in something. Like if you push this person and you are both standing next to the water, maybe a river. So if you push him, so the effect is that he will be, he will fall in water. If he is lucky, he will be ready to swim out. But effect, so the effect is that he is here. Effect is to do something that could lead to an effect in somebody's life or in something. For example, let's think of an example to explain it. For the verb affect, I say, so his father, his father encouraged him and affected him to work hard and succeed in the exam. So he is making a change in his son to work hard and to succeed in the exam. So his father, encouraging words, affected him to study hard and succeed at university, for example. If you move here to the next expression, I would say it an expression or a phrase, an association between. Now we have three words here. I start with an, of course, because I can see the next word starting with a. So this is a vowel sound, so I can say an association. Now, association is a noun, and it is the connection or relationship between things. For example, you look at here, the tornadoes, and what we mean by tornadoes, like it could be like a big storm in the sea or an ocean that makes water go higher in the air. So because of these storms, tornadoes, like the sharks could move, could become very aggressive. So they're already aggressive animals and dangerous in the sea. But because of the tornadoes, we can see an association between the tornadoes and the shark attacks. So they attack in a more aggressive way, maybe people, maybe ships or little boats in the sea near the area. So they attack, even they attack other animals in the sea, maybe fish or seals or whatever in the sea. So if we see this high line here, then another high. So this shows an association between the tornadoes and the shark attacks. So this is the connection, the relationship between those two things. Now, this person is standing up and explaining to those two people, maybe this is at work, maybe at university, meeting with a supervisor or two supervisors on your maybe dissertation in your postgraduate study. So this person is explaining. So the noun of it is explanation. So this is an explanation. I need an explanation for what you did. For example, if you do something wrong and I call you for a meeting, I said, please, I need an explanation for what happened. Can you tell me why did you do that? And so on. It is a noun, and it starts with an because we start with as a vowel. Of course, we can make it plural. We can say explanations. So it is a description that makes something clear. So when I give an explanation, I make ideas or things very clear for people to understand or to follow with me. So can you give me more explanation? Can you tell me, or can you present me some explanation of what you did? Or thank you for your explanation because you made it very clear idea for me, and so on. This is how we use it. An image. So I can see an, so it starts with a vowel, and it is singular, so I can make it plural when I say images. Of course, it is a noun. So it means like a picture of something maybe real or in mind. So, I mean, if you have something real in front of you and you draw it, so this is an image, like in here in this picture we can see. and it could be something you imagine in your mind and you can draw it. So still, it is an image. We can think of many examples about the word image. So I can say, for example, she was blind, but she managed to draw many images. I mean, out of her imagination. So she imagined. By the way, the word image is a noun. Imagine is a verb. So you start thinking in your mind, in your brain, you work it, and you expect something. So we call it imagine. So imagination is a noun as well of imagine. So image is a singular word, and it is like a picture, as I mentioned. It could be real, you do it, or it could be just in your mind and you draw it. And I can see this on the picture. So sometimes you explain something to your students, for example, or your friends, and they start thinking of the image to what you are telling. So, for example, you can tell them what happened when you drove your car and you, for example, saw an accident, how two cars were all smashed. One person was bleeding. The police were rushing to the place. People ran and started taking the drivers out to save their lives. So if I listen to this story, I can make an image in my brain, in my mind, so I can imagine how the picture is, how the image is. Okay? Now look at this picture. This is an optical illusion, and you can see, you feel it's moving, yeah? Keep looking at it. It looks like it is moving, and this is a kind, we call it illusion or optical illusion. Now, optical means to see through the, I mean, seeing. Okay. Now, illusion is something that cheats your brain or your eyes, right? So when we say optical illusion, it's like color. Look at how many colors, and we have light, maybe, and patterns to create images that can be deceptive. Deceptive means to cheat you, okay, to mislead you. So you start thinking, oh, is it moving? Is it a circle, or is it a square? Why is it moving? This is just a picture. So this is actually misleading your brain, or deceiving your brain. This is what we call it an optical illusions. Sometimes they do it for maybe kind of course, for entertainment in some places, but generally it could help in some psychology study or physiology study. Now, as we're talking about physiology, so we think of anatomy. Anatomy is the science that studies the structure of the body. And of course, remember this, it's not of a human body, it could be the animal body, it could be any living organism, like maybe the plants, the trees, yeah? So anatomy is the science that studies the structure of this thing, whether it is a plant or animal or human. I mean living creature. Anatomy, generally, the sciences or the science names, they come from Latin language. So anatomy is a Latin language, actually. If you go to hospital, you can see many of these pictures or images, and even if you go to in the hospital, you can meet a doctor who is specialist in anatomy, for example. There is maybe a department in the hospital. You can read this as anatomy department, and so on. These two boys are really annoying, right? So it is adjective. The verb is annoy. If I say annoying, so they make troubles and they make somebody feel angry or uncomfortable. So look at them. They are hitting their mom, maybe their aunt. So she's a little angry or uncomfortable. So she's actually not happy with it. She's trying to protect her eye, maybe. So those boys are annoying. Of course, you can use annoying in many different situations, like you can talk about people, annoying people, you can say noise as annoying noise, and so on. But this girl is, look at her face, putting her maybe fingers or hand near the mouth. So she's anxious. She feels really afraid or nervous, so she's anxious. The noun is anxiety, but this is an adjective, anxious. Maybe when you got your driving test to get your driving license, so you will feel anxious. Sometimes maybe you go to to do your normal tests at university, so you might feel nervous or anxious. So this is, she felt anxious to take her first time, or for in the first time of her driving test or driving lessons. So she's taken driving lessons to learn how to drive, so she felt really anxious. Okay. But this man looks very happy. Look at his beautiful smile. So, but he is playing the drums, I would say them. Could be the drums, I'm not sure what we call them. But beat is a verb. Of course, in the past, so the past of it is also beat. So it's the same, but the past participle is beaten. So beat, beat, beaten. I add en to the end of the verb. So if I beat, I make regular movement or sound. For example, this man is beating on these instruments, musical instruments. So he is playing the music. So to beat them regular times, like 1, 2, 3. So to make a specific sound. Many students could be confused between beat and hit. Now, hit, it happens for, once or twice, but it is not regular like beat. So this is the difference between hit and beat. So when you beat, you do it regular times, many times, regularly, to make a specific maybe noise or sound for your like in this person playing music. I can give you example. For example, he beat. So this is in the past, simple past. He beat the table with his hand. So what is he doing actually? 1, 2, 3. So maybe a boy, he is hungry and he is on the table and waiting for his mom for the dinner. So he is 1, 2, 3, just making this regular movement or sound just to attract his mom's attention, like, please come bring food, I'm hungry. So he is beating the table, he beat the table, and so on. Now, this lady is thinking of maybe something. So she is, for example, weighing, like, should I do this or that? This could be better because I have many benefits to do this. That's why it's heavier. So Consider as a verb is to think about doing something. So I'm thinking to do this because this is better for me, this is great for me, and so on. For example, of course, consider is a regular verb, so you can add ed, so considered, and the noun is consideration. Adjective maybe could be considerable. Of course, it could be considering person. This means a person who thinks and he is very careful. And considered as a past participle, it could be used as an adjective. But I give you example as the word consider as a verb. So he had considered giving up his job. So this means he had thought of giving up or leaving his job. So this means he was thinking, he thought, and he decided to give up the job, to leave his job. Context. So look at this big image in here. So in this big image, if I tell this person and I show him just this space in front of him, and I ask him, what can you see here? He could say like, oh, this is maybe part of a mountain. Oh, sorry, where am I? Yeah. So he could say like, this is part of a mountain here, for a mountain, or maybe a little part of maybe a hill. But he doesn't see the full image. Look at this full image. Now, if I ask those two people, what can you see in this picture? And they might say, well, we can see just scratches here, black, dark areas here, and white areas there, and so on. But actually, if we see the whole context, we can see, we can decide that this is an elephant. It could be clear for this person as elephant, but for the others, it could not be clear for them. So the context is the situation or information that is around something else. Oh my goodness, right. So I give you example. If you go and explain, if you go to university and you do a kind of a presentation, a short one, explaining to your friends a specific idea or issue or a matter, a problem in your in your course at university. If you start immediately explaining, for example, the idea, they might not understand you. But if you explain, first of all, the context, then you start explaining your idea. So they will understand your idea within this context. So it will be easy for them to follow you and understand you. So I can give example like this issue cannot be understood without considering its context. So again, so the context will help us understand more information, more ideas, and so on. This boy is very energetic. So energetic is an adjective, not a noun. Energy is a noun. Energetic is an adjective. And what does that mean? Look at him. He is jumping very high with this energy. So we say having or showing a lot of energy. This is energetic. Generally, you know, children are very energetic. They just jump, run, you know, play around. I give you example like if I'm talking about an old man, right? Old man. So I can say he is very energetic for a man of his age. So because maybe he is 70 years old, but when you see him on a bike and he's very energetic, so you say, wow, he is very energetic for his age. So this means we don't expect this man to do this in this age because he is 70, right? So energetic. Environment. So it's not only the people around you, but it is things around you. It's not just people. Also, it is things that are around you, the environment, we call it. Of course, environment could be the nature outside. It could be, if I am talking about just this classroom here, so I say the environment, I'm talking about people, maybe tables, chairs, bags, walls, the boards, the books, the bookshelf, and windows. Everything I call them an environment. So I say it looks really very quiet environment here because they are doing a test or exam, right? So environment, of course. It could mean different when you are talking about nature. So, for example, we should keep the environment clean. So please don't cut the trees, for example. This means we need you to keep the environment green, more trees. This would help them, like for clean air. This would help for beauty in the nature and so on. So keep the environment clean and so on. The next one is, look at this little girl hiding something behind. Maybe it could be a gift to her mum. So expect, so the mum is expecting something nice to be given by her child, by her daughter. So expect is a verb. And of course, I say expected. So this is a regular verb. So the mother expects her daughter to give her like a gift or present. So this means she believes that something will happen, that her daughter will give her something, or she thinks that her daughter will give her something. So expect. We can put it in another example. I can say, I didn't expect to see him. So this means I didn't think that it will happen and I see him. So, but it happened, right? So expect is a verb, regular verb. Fascinated, and look how we say it, how we pronounce it. Fascinated. So it has and C, we say them fasci, then I come with I, fascinated, right? Fascinated is an adjective. It means like you are strongly interested in something. Look at the face of this boy. He is really fascinated in this book or in reading this book or in reading books. So this is an adjective. The verb is fascinate. So you just take the D out and it will become fascinate as a verb. So look at his face. He's happy. He's interested in reading this book. I can think of another example for fascinated. I can say like, he is absolutely fascinated by the game. So this means this man or boy is watching a game, but this game, like football, maybe football match, and I can see him shouting, with a flag, like supporting the team, cheering them. So I say, whoa, he is absolutely fascinated by the game. Right. Sometimes we use this, what we call it is a whistler. Like whistler is, we whistle. This means we use this red thing to make a very sharp and loud sound. So imagine you are in a very quiet place and somebody with this, they whistle, like they blow it, like they say, so it's very loud and sharp, and actually it's unpleasant sound. This is really bad, so you don't feel happy with it. So this sound, we call it high pitched. High pitched means very loud. Sorry, excuse me, sneezing because of the sun. Right, so we call it high pitched, and this is an adjective. I can give you a kind of example. So I can say, I could hear the high pitched scream of the fire alarm. So if you have in your house, in your room, a fire alarm, and a fire happens in the room, in the place, maybe in the kitchen, and the fire alarm will start beeping very sharp and very loudly. So this is unpleasant sound. So you can say, whoa, for example, I could hear the high-pitched scream of the fire alarm. Scream means the sound of the fire alarm. So high-pitched. Interpret. Interpret is a verb. It is regular verb, so we add ed, interpreted. If you see this man, he is reading maybe a book. So this means to think, perceive, this means to understand, yes, in a particular way. Sometimes you read a book, or if I show you one sentence, you can read it and understand it in a different way than another student who reads the same sentence. I mean, two people could read the same sentence, but everyone could have a different interpretation, could have a different understanding of it. So interpret is understanding, perceiving, thinking of. I can give you an example of it. Like, for example, you can say, it is difficult to interpret this line of the poem. So I explained before when we started talking about verse, الشعر, and poem, القصيدة. So I say it's really difficult to interpret this line of the poem or this poem. Okay, so interpret is to understand in a specific way. Now I can see here, but can you tell me how many lenses in here? So this is plural noun with es, because the word singular is lens. So till s here, then you add es to make it plural. Of course, we need to add es, not just s, because the word ends with s here. It is a noun, and it means like thin, clear parts. So you can see through it, like in here. This is the lens here. So it's clear, so you can see through it. It could be in your eyes, it could be in glasses, it could be in telescopes used, so we call them lenses. For example, if you are talking about the glasses, so many students, many people need to wear their own eyeglasses for reading, for example. So they can't see well, so they need glasses. So I say, for example, her eyeglasses have thick lenses, right? So thick, sometimes they are thin, so it depends. So lenses, we use them in telescopes and glasses, or we already have them in our eyes naturally, like. So this is bad mood. This is happy mood. So what we mean by mood, it is a noun, and it is the way we feel in a particular time. So how we feel. So I say, for example, she is in a bad mood today. She had bad mood after arguing with her friend. So if you have a bad mood, this means you are not happy. If you have a happy mood, you are happy, you feel better. Okay? Pay attention. So if you go and attend your lectures at university, you need to pay attention. This means you need to focus and think carefully, follow, for example, the lecture, the teacher, the lecturer, the doctor explaining to you. Pay is irregular verb. You need to make it in the past as id, so paid. So P-A-I-D, paid attention in the past. So pay, paid, paid. So it is to focus on and follow maybe the lecture or the explanation by somebody. If you go get your tent here or go for camping in here, you feel how peaceful place in here, peaceful nature. You can hear the voice or the sound, of birds here, the wind, maybe the water. So you feel peaceful. This is peaceful place. It's quiet and calm. Calm, so not calm. Many students make it in a wrong way. The L is not is silent, so I say calm, so no L to say. Like in the word talk, I am talking to you. I don't say I am talking to you. No, I say I'm talking. Talk, but L we don't say it. The same in here in calm. So calm and quiet place. We call it a peaceful place, peaceful mind. Sometimes you can describe if you see somebody is doing yoga, the yoga. So you can see them, they go to the mountains or sometimes in their room, but alone with nothing around to make any noise to them, and they sit and they want to get some peaceful mind. Perception. So look at this man. I can see a big eye here. So what we mean by perception is the ability to be aware of something. For example, if you hurt yourself, maybe let me think of a better example for you. For example, you see somebody on a motorbike and he's driving fast, but an accident happens. So he falls over, maybe on the road. The first 2 or maybe 10 seconds, you see this person in a shock. He's not dead. He looks around, but he is not aware of what he has on maybe his leg. Maybe his arm and leg are cut, so they are bleeding, blood coming out, but he is not aware of what happened. So he is like, in a shock. Now, after 10 seconds, after 15 seconds, he starts feeling the pain. So what we say, the perception of pain has started. This means he started realizing, understanding or feeling the pain or what happened to him. So he started perceiving. So the perception of pain has started. So, but generally, many patients, when they go to hospital for example, blood test, So when they do the needle, you know, in your arm and the vein, so to take the blood out, so you have this perception of pain. So you say, oh, I, right? Pleasant. Look at how beautiful scene here. I can see like people book and pay maybe thousands of dollars to go and enjoy their holidays in this pleasant place. So it is enjoyable, attractive, friendly, or easy to like. So if I say this place is pleasant, so this means that the place is enjoyable. People go and enjoy the place. This place is attracting people to come and spend their holiday in there. It's a peaceful place as well. For pleasant, I can give you a quick example. For example, I say, we spent a very pleasant holiday in Hawaii. We spent a very pleasant evening with our friends, and so on. So pleasant is something enjoyable. We enjoyed it. It was friendly. It was attractive place, maybe, or maybe a holiday place to enjoy. This cat looks really relaxed. It's maybe sleeping here, but when you are relaxed, you are free from any tension or worry. So if you don't have any worries, if you don't have any tensions, so you are relaxed. So this is an adjective. Of course, the verb is relax. It ends, when I make it in the past, I say relaxed, relaxed. Now, the past participle is relaxed. We use it as an adjective. Of course, if I say relaxing by ing, also it is a present participle. We can use it as an adjective, but I say like, this music is relaxing. He looked or he seemed relaxed. Okay? Now, remind. So actually, when I remind you of something, this means you don't forget it. Or you forgot it, but I reminded you, so you start getting it into your memory again. So to make someone remember something, this is to remind. So I might give you a picture of your granddad maybe, or granddad, and you tell me, you start remembering your granddad, maybe an old friend you didn't see or you haven't seen for maybe 20 years. When you see this photo of your friend, you start remembering. So this photo reminds you of your friend. The next word is resonance. Now, resonance is a noun, and it is the quality of a sound, but not any sound that is deep. So the sound that is deep, loud, and continuing for a long time. So this is what we call it resonance. Give you an example, like the resonance of his voice made everyone listen carefully. Maybe you are describing a singer, maybe a lecturer or somebody who is doing a presentation. So the resonance of his voice made everyone listen carefully to him, of course. So resonance is the quality, but it's this sound should be deep, loud, and continuing for a long time. Again, this word, if you see this hedge, we don't say it, it is just written, it's silent hedge. So I say rhythm, rhythm. So TH is the, so rhythm. TH is not the, like thank you, no, it is the, like this is. So rhythm, rhythm. And it is a noun. And rhythm, if you remember when we talked about qasida, or we call it the poem, by the end of specific lines, we can see like warm, storm. So this is rhythm. So it is regular, repeated sound. But this is a specific sound, I mean. So okay, so by the end of, now if I do this or I use this instrument, could be a drum or look at this person, he is playing this music. So if he repeat the same sound on this instrument, you will feel the rhythm, right? How many senses do we have in our as a human? So we can see, we can hear, we can smell, we can taste, and we can feel by touching. Yeah. So the five senses as human are seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching or feeling, actually, right? So this is senses. Of course, it's a plural noun, so we add the S to it. The singular is sense. It ends with E, then I add S for plural. Senses. So the five senses are seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching, or we call it feeling. Now, still we're talking about the word sense, but when I make it, it's very similar to it, like sensitive. So sensitive is an adjective, and it means easily changed, like upset, could be hurt, could be uncomfortable. So if you are a sensitive person, you are easily being upset or hurt, or you feel annoyed, maybe unhappy, or you might change immediately. So you are a sensitive person. Look at, generally, children are very sensitive. Babies are sensitive. So if you even look at them and maybe shout, maybe if you cry, even pretending that, if you pretend that you are crying, you are not really crying, but making yourself look like crying. If you have a baby like this, they will cry because they are sensitive. Okay? So this is an expression. So when I say it sounds like, this means to seem to be something to someone based on what you said. Like maybe the doctor explains to this patient that, for example, you have a backache. We need to do 10 times, like massage, or we call it physiotherapy treatment. So, and the patient could say, oh, that sounds like a good idea. This means it looks for him, it seems to him that it is good, it is fine for him. Sound is the main verb, but when I say it sounds, that sounds, so I need to add S. Of course, in the past I sounded like, but it's hardly used in the past. It is used while talking at the moment or at present, we say. So if I tell you, okay, guys, let's go for a quick walk, or let's go for a cup of coffee, and you tell me, oh, it sounds like a great idea, let's go, right? This lady, look at how many stickers on her laptop. So she looks really stressed, and it is an adjective. The verb and the noun is stress. The word stress is verb and noun. When I make it adjective, I add ed. So I say stressed or stressing. So I add ing. But in here, because she feels really in pain, like, but it is not pain as physiological in their hand or back or head. No, it is pain in the brain, or we call it in the mental brain. So in emotional pain. For example, she in her body she is fine. She doesn't have any problem like in her hand or back, but she is thinking. So it is mental pain, right? So this is what we call it stressed. Many students, when they do their exams, the whole week, for example, and every day you have a test, a different test. So you need to read day and night. So you don't have time to speak to people because you are stressed. You need to read, and cover as much as possible so you can pass the test for tomorrow, for example. So you are stressed, right? If you are driving your car at night and out of the sudden you see this animal in front of you, so this means if I say sudden is an adjective, of course, and this means it happens quickly when you are not expecting it. So you don't expect to see this animal while you are driving, maybe at night. I can give you another example about sudden. Say, for example, when the police want, for example, to arrest a criminal, arrest a man, so they tell him like, for example, drop your gun, put your hands in the air, and don't make any sudden movements. So this means he should freeze, he shouldn't move at all, or he shouldn't do any sudden move because they might shoot him, they might believe that he will escape or run away, so they might shoot him. So they ask him, don't make any sudden movements, right? Now, surrounding. When I'm talking about surrounding, I mean all around. Like, look at this person in red and look at around, all around here. This is what we call a surrounding. Of course, it's an adjective. If I put it an example, this could help you understand it better. When I say like a lot of children at the school come in from the surrounding countryside, for example, or areas. This means this is a school, right? And here are different areas around the school. So I say children in the school here come in, they come from like, come in from the surrounding buildings or areas, or we can say countryside. So the surrounding is what are there around, all around the place. So it's not just from one side, it is all around the place. Now, this word is, we call it tamper. Now, tamper is a noun, but what can you see here? This picture looks really strange. Now, if you, I think it could, you could see this in a film, in a movie. It's like Star Wars or something like this. Now, if you hear them how they speak with a specific quality of sound. It's not a normal voice. It's not a normal quality of sound like what we do when we speak. No, it speaks like robots, maybe. So we call it timbre, and it's a noun. If I give you example, for example, he has a wonderful singing voice with a rich timbre tone. Now, this means like he has beautiful voice when he sings, but what makes his voice special is there like a kind of a rich timbre tone, like if you hear a specific singer when they sing, they have nice voice, but there is something else in their voice that makes the quality of their voice very particular, very special. That's why people love them. If you listen to, for example, give you example of some singers like Brian Adams or Lionel Richie. So you can, Kenny Rogers, if you hear them, their voice is special because they have a special rich timbre in their voice. Okay? Now, you come home maybe from work and you notice that your child, your brother, has turned up the volume at home. So you feel like you hear the TV maybe from far away. So this is turned up. And turned up is a verb. We add ed to make it in the past. It's turned up, right? It means like to make a machine. This means like a TV, maybe a DVD, maybe even the laptop, produce more sound. If you talk about heat, so this means when you are cooking maybe on a cooker, so you can turn up the heat and so on. So you use, of course, controls like this rounded thing here with a light on it. So you turn it up to make it more sound, more heat, and so on. I can tell that, could you turn the volume down? Could you turn the volume up? And these are the opposite, turn up, turn down. So could you turn the volume up, please, so you can hear better? If you feel it's really loud, you can say, could you turn the volume down, please? And this, we call it vision. This means the ability to see, so you can see. For example, this girl, her father took her to the optician to test her vision, to test her eyes. So, and they found that she has very little vision in her left eye. So that's why they gave her these beautiful glasses to wear so she can see better in her left eye. So we call it vision. So vision is a noun, which means the ability to see. Now, this is the last word in here. We call it volume. Sorry, it is volume. Volume is a noun, and it means the amount of sound we produce as people or produced from a machine or by a machine. So, for example, the TV, as I explained, if I turn it up, so the volume will be really loud or high. So I can tell you, could you turn the volume down, please? So volume is a noun. And this is the end of our session. This is the last word. Hope you enjoyed it. Wish you all the best, and we will meet again later. Thank you. Bye-bye.